Google confirms that it will merge Chrome OS and Android. A new AI video tool uses only public domain content in training. XAI increases surveillance monitoring of its employees. Starlink versus Apple on satellite phones. And a hacker makes Elmo's X account X-rated. Welcome to Hashtag Trending. I'm your host, Jim Love. Let's get into it. Google is migrating Chrome OS over to Android. This confirms a story reported in November that Google was working on this. The confirmation came when Samir Samat, Google's Android ecosystem president, was talking to a Tech Radar journalist and asked why they were using Apple devices. The reason for his question was, and he said, "We're going to be combining Chrome OS and Android into a single platform, and I'm very interested in how people are using their laptops these days." The timing could align with Android 16's rollout, which includes desktop features like proper windowing and external display management. So Android is already gaining the capabilities needed to handle laptop-style computing. It's not a big reach to go to Chrome OS merger. But how will users view these changes? According to a November poll reported in Android Authority, half of polled readers supported merging the Chrome OS into Android, though others questioned whether it could affect Chromebook updates and hardware requirements. So it looks like they have a 50-50 chance on making users happy. But maybe the chances are better than 50-50. It does create a unified operating system across phones, tablets, and laptops. And for consumers, it means learning one less platform instead of two. For developers, it means building apps that work across all device types. And for IT departments managing Chromebook fleets, it means potential hardware changes as the platforms merge. And for Android users, having a seamless move from phone to big screen could be what so many others have tried to achieve, albeit with limited success. A startup called Moon Valley has launched an AI video generator which is aimed at blunting the protests about stealing content by training their model entirely on public domain films. The product, Mari, is now publicly available after beta trials started in March of this year. The Los Angeles-based company claims their 3D-aware video synthesis model is 100% trained on public domain films. And this distinguishes them from most AI video companies, which typically have trained on copyrighted material and are probably facing legal challenges as a result. Moon Valley hired Ed Ulbrich, a VFX artist who worked on the Titanic and Top Gun Maverick, to be the liaison with film studios. Ulbrich was previously skeptical of generative AI, but says Moon Valley's approach changed his mind. "No stolen pixels, no scraping of the internet," he said. "It's done in a great way." This follows a similar project in June where AI researchers trained a language model on openly licensed data. The team processed over 8 terabytes of data to create an LLM that matched Meta's Llama 1 and 2 in performance. If Moon Valley's claims hold up, it can challenge the industry narrative that AI companies need to pirate copyrighted content to build effective models. And for content creators worried about their work being used without permission, this shows there's an alternative path. For AI companies facing lawsuits, it demonstrates that clean training data is technically feasible, even if it does require a little more work. The site and the samples look impressive, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a great program. We haven't had a chance to check it out yet, but we will over the next coming days. But you can also check it out yourself at moonvalley.com. Elon Musk's XAI told workers who train its Grok chatbot to download employee tracking software called Hubstaff on their personal computers. The software tracks URLs, applications, keystrokes, and mouse movements during work hours. It also requires workers to clock in and out and can capture screenshots showing what the employee is looking at or working on. Originally, the deadline for doing this was July 11th, but after Business Insider inquired about the policy, XAI revised its approach, allowing employees to postpone installation if they were waiting for company laptops to replace their personal laptops before installing the software. At least one employee has resigned over the policy, calling it surveillance disguised as productivity and manipulation masked as culture. XAI already uses multiple tracking systems, including an HR manager called Rippling for time tracking and an in-house system called Starfleet that's supposed to monitor how long tutors spend on each task. As for the legality of this, at least one employment attorney, David Lowe, says that the legal risks of this type of surveillance are minimal if companies give proper notice, although he did suggest exploring less intrusive methods. Musk is known for demanding long hours and absolute loyalty, and the company has frequently blamed rogue employees for issues related to Grok. So it's not surprising to see him pushing the boundaries on employee monitoring. But this could have an impact on remote workers elsewhere, setting a precedent about how far companies can push surveillance, especially if you work remotely and use your own equipment. And given the new strategy for many tech companies after massive layoffs seems to be hitting targets that identify a predetermined number of low-performing employees, presumably to pressure them into leaving, we can almost certainly expect companies are going to test similar programs. The beatings will continue until morale improves. We've done a couple of stories on how Starlink is going to connect to LTE cell phones to offer at least texting in the next little while. But here's a backstory you might not have heard. It turns out that back in 2022, before Apple launched the iPhone 14's emergency satellite feature, Elon Musk made Apple an offer. SpaceX would provide Starlink satellite connectivity for iPhones. The deal was $5 billion upfront plus $1 billion annually after 18 months of exclusivity. Tim Cook turned it down. Instead, Apple partnered with Globalstar for their emergency SOS feature. But Musk didn't just walk away. SpaceX partnered with T-Mobile to launch direct-to-cell service, which lets smartphones connect directly to Starlink satellites. This means iPhone users can now access Starlink connectivity through T-Mobile's network. Meanwhile, SpaceX has been legally challenging Globalstar's wireless spectrum rights, arguing that the company isn't fully using the frequencies it was allocated. This directly impacts Apple since their satellite service depends on that same spectrum. And here's what makes this interesting. Apple's own executives weren't entirely happy with Globalstar as a choice. Reports suggested that senior staff had concerns about Globalstar's aging network and limited upgrade path. The bottom line? This shows how satellite connectivity is becoming the new battleground for mobile services. Apple chose independence over capability, but Musk found a way to compete anyway. And with SpaceX's legal challenges potentially disrupting Apple's spectrum access, this satellite war is just getting started. The real winner might be the consumers who get better connectivity options as these companies duke it out. And finally, the official X account for the Sesame Street character Elmo was hacked on Sunday evening. What followed was a series of graphic and racist posts appearing on the timeline before being deleted after control was restored. The posts were live for less than half an hour, but spread quickly across the platform through screenshots. The hacked messages included anti-Semitic content, anti-Israel statements, and profane references to President Trump, as well as calls to release the Epstein files. We won't repeat what was said, but let's just say that on X, Sesame Street was brought to you by the letter F. The account also appeared to be replying to users during the hack before control was regained. This highlights how high-profile social media accounts remain vulnerable to takeovers, even children's entertainment brands. And for parents following these accounts with kids, it's a reminder that social media feeds can change instantly. For brands managing social accounts, it shows the importance of robust security measures and rapid response protocols when accounts are compromised. As of the time we recorded, neither the official Elmo account nor the Sesame Street account has posted an explanation of how the hack occurred or what security measures are being implemented. But for now, no more tweets have been made on Elmo's account, and the offensive tweets have been removed. And that's our show. Hashtag Trending has been brought to you by the words, "Oh my God, is nothing sacred." Love to hear from you. You can reach us on our new improved website at technewsday.com or .ca. Take your pick and just go to the Contact Us tab and drop us a note. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can put a note right under the video. Keep it clean, though. I'm your host, Jim Love. Have a terrific Tuesday.